Just after midnight, in one of the world's busiest drug corridors, 40 cartel speedboats surge across black water, engines roaring, unaware that every move is already being watched. A patchwork of U.S. Navy, Coast Guard, and airborne eyes has fused whispers and heat signatures into a plan. By dawn, most of these boats will be boxed in or caught. What does it take to trap an entire flotilla before it reaches open ocean? And what happens if just one slips through? The answer begins with the stakes behind this high-speed cat and mouse. The Eastern Pacific and Caribbean corridors form the main arteries for maritime cocaine trafficking to the United States. Each year, more than 1,000 metric tons of cocaine move through these waters, with as much as 80% of shipments bound for the United States following this ocean route. On any given night, a single flotilla of 40 go-fast boats can carry up to 20 metric tons of cocaine, enough to flood entire regions with product. The street value of such a haul reaches well into the billions, funding cartel violence, corruption, and the expansion of transnational criminal networks. The threat is not just the drugs themselves. Every successful run strengthens the financial and operational backbone of the cartels, undermining security and governance far beyond the coastline. That is why the United States response draws on a scale and sophistication rarely seen outside major military operations. United States Navy destroyers, Coast Guard cutters, maritime patrol aircraft, and unmanned drones combine into a single, integrated task force. Their mission is to disrupt the flow before it reaches the open ocean, and to deny traffickers the freedom to maneuver. This is not a single-agency effort. Intelligence, detection, and interdiction all rely on seamless cooperation between military and law enforcement arms. The stakes justify the resources, because if even one flotilla slips through, the consequences ripple from city streets to foreign capitals. Tonight, every asset is committed, every sensor is tuned, and every move is coordinated. The scale of the challenge demands nothing less. Inside the Joint Fusion Center, a duty officer scans a wall of screens, each one streaming data from different corners of the hemisphere. A coded tip arrives from a human source, reporting activity at a remote riverside dock. Dozens of men loading fuel drums and plastic-wrapped crates onto low-slung boats. Minutes later, intercepted radio chatter in a coastal dialect hints at a major launch, with phrases matching cartel code for a big push. Overhead, a commercial satellite captures a cluster of heat blooms on the water, engines idling in tight formation just before midnight. As signals and images pour in, analysts begin to piece together the scale of what is unfolding. Surface search radar from a Navy ship sweeps the expected corridor, picking up faint, fast-moving returns. Algorithms flag the pattern, 40 discrete contacts, all accelerating on parallel courses and moving without lights. The Fusion Center software overlays these tracks with earlier human intelligence and signals. Intelligence cues, building a live threat picture. The intelligence duty officer briefs the Maritime Task Force commander. The evidence is clear. This is not a routine run, but a mass movement designed to overwhelm any standard patrol. Instead of rushing to intercept, the commander orders patience. Let the flotilla commit to open water, where the trap can close with maximum effect. The order goes out to all assets. Maintain contact, shape the battle space, and wait for the right moment. Every sensor and every operator stays locked on the growing armada, knowing that the trap will only work if the timing is perfect. The task force commander studies the digital sea, plotting the geometry of the kill box. 4 Navy destroyers and 2 Coast Guard cutters move into position, forming a loose rectangle across the most likely transit corridor. Each ship claims a sector, their radars overlapping to ensure no gap remains. Farther out, 2 maritime patrol aircraft sweep wide arcs, their sensors tuned to the faintest heat signature or ripple of wake. Overhead, drones relay a constant feed of thermal images and radar returns, stitching together a real-time mosaic of the ocean surface. The kill box is not a static barrier, but a living net. Destroyers shift their headings in slow, deliberate increments, tightening the box with every mile. Cutters adjust their speed, ready to surge forward or pivot as new tracks appear. On each bridge, officers monitor assigned sectors, communicating by encrypted channels to coordinate every move. No single asset can cover the entire field. But together, the overlapping zones deny the cartel flotilla any clean escape. At the edge of the box, rigid hull inflatable boats sit ready on davits, crews strapped in with night vision gear and boarding kits. Their role is surgical. Once a suspect boat is isolated, these teams will launch at high speed, closing the final distance in minutes. Airborne, helicopters orbit just outside visual range, forward-looking infrared cameras scanning for sudden course changes or decoy maneuvers. The choreography is precise. Every ship, aircraft, and boat moves in concert, each action feeding into the next. The objective is simple: compress the flotilla's options until running becomes impossible. Continuous updates flow between surface, air, and command. Predictive algorithms flag likely breakout attempts, suggesting minor course corrections to seal every seam. The net tightens by the hour, shrinking the open water available to the smugglers. The kill box is nearly set. Soon, the only direction left will be toward the waiting blockade. Just after midnight, the mothership drifts far from shore, lights blacked out, engines humming low. On deck, crews move with practiced speed, rolling fuel drums and shrink-wrapped cargo into the waiting go-fast boats. 40 hulls, each built for raw speed, line up in staggered formation, some heavy with cocaine, others stripped down for agility or armed escort duty. The launch is silent, but urgent. One by one, the boats slip into the water, engines throttled just enough to clear the mothership's shadow before opening up to full power. There are no navigation lights, only the faint glow of instrument panels and the white-hot flare of exhausts visible through thermal sensors. The flotilla splits almost immediately. Loaded carriers take the most direct course toward the open corridor, hugging the dark water and banking on speed to outrun any patrol. Decoy boats peel off, zigzagging in wide arcs, their erratic paths designed to confuse radar and draw attention away from the main hull. Armed escorts hang back, scanning the horizon for any sign of trouble, ready to intercept or distract a pursuing cutter. Every move is calculated to buy time and space, exploiting the chaos of night and the vastness of open ocean. The cartel crews know the risks, but confidence runs high. They have rehearsed this launch dozens of times, trusting in their numbers and the unpredictability of their routes. At speeds topping 50 knots, wakes stretch behind them, visible only to the most sensitive infrared eyes. For now, the sea belongs to them. But every mile brings them closer to the tightening net, each decision narrowing the window before the trap springs shut. The first warning call echoes across the water, amplified through loud hailers from the Coast Guard cutter. Dozens of cartel boats, boxed in by radar and thermal imaging, now face a choice. Most ignore the hail and throttle up in desperate bursts, engines screaming through the darkness. On the bridge, The boarding team leader watches the digital map, each red track representing a hostile vessel. Orders come fast. Prioritize the heavy carriers. Intercept any boat that tries to break the line. Boarding teams launch in waves, rigid hull inflatable boats slamming into the black chop. Night vision goggles glow green. Crewmen steady rifles over the bow, trained on engine blocks. The protocol is clear. Escalate only as needed. A second warning sounds, sharp and unmistakable. When a go-fast veers away and ignores every call, a .50 caliber round cracks through the night, shattering the stillness and striking just above the waterline. The next shot disables the outboard and sends a plume of smoke into the air. The boat slows, dead in the water. Boarding teams close in. No shots are fired at people, only at machines. Elsewhere, a decoy boat spins out in a bid to draw pursuit. The team leader redirects a rigid hull inflatable boat, splitting forces and trusting the net to hold. Each boarding unfolds with practiced speed, hands on heads, weapons down, evidence bags snapped open. Every crew is checked for weapons, and every crate is tested for cocaine. The process repeats, boat after boat, until the chaos narrows to a series of controlled seizures. By dawn, the kill box holds a flotilla of captured vessels, engines silenced and crews detained. The boarding leader's voice, steady over the radio, confirms the count. Every night, traffickers launch faster boats and riskier routes. Yet, with each interdiction, the U.S. Navy and the Coast Guard force criminal networks to adapt and expose new vulnerabilities. In this race, vigilance and technology decide the future of the world's busiest drug corridors. Where would you draw the line?